Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. You're watching the episode 16th of The Health Show. And tonight, we're going to be joined in by Dr. Bilal Hassan, who's also known as Mystapaki, who's a photojournalist by heart. He's a doctor by profession. He works in research. He does a lot of photography and he showcases real life beauty and raw, real realities of Karachi every single day. And his work is totally inspirational. There's lots of publications all around the world. There's lots of channels who have featured Dr. Bilal Hassan and showcased and featured his work. And he's just an amazing guy. And he's just going to join key questions related to his life journeys, related to the future of Pakistan, and to the health, and what does he think about mental health, and how can we make it a better place. And here he is. Assalamu alaikum Bilal, कैसे हैं आप?
हाय there, वालेकुम सलाम, क्या हाल है?
I'm good. आप सुनाएं, ठीक ठाक है?
I'm good. आज थोड़े एरंड्स रन करा तो फिर मैंने कहा चलो कोई गाड़ी पार्क करके यहीं कर लेते हैं लाइव.
चलें, that's great. Thank you. Let's begin. First of all, Bilal, मुझे बताएंगे who is Mr. Paki? How and why did you shift from a full-time doctor job? I mean, you could have been in the hospital right now. You could have been, suturing up people, injections लगा रहे हैं, Foley catheters pass कर रहे हैं. You could have done a lot of things. But why did you, make that shift? And how did you make that shift? Because for a doctor, it's obviously very difficult to balance all these things. Tell us everything about this, and also tell us about the photojournalism that you do.
Okay, so like firstly, like the thing is when, because this is like a very favorite question of doctors, fellow doctors, I get it. And where they're like, तुमने shift कर दी, तुमने medicine छोड़ दी. I was like, आपको खबर किसने दी? मैंने नहीं छोड़ी. Like, who told you I left medicine? ठीक है. Because the thing is, the idea of a doctor doing anything other than medicine is like mind blowing for me. Like लोगों को समझ नहीं आता कि it's also possible. You just need to compartmentalize everything. That's the thing. So the thing was, it was all accidental, frankly speaking. I was always just really passionate about. The fact was that like it was around 2014-13, and I noticed that the portrayal of Pakistan in the media was very एक एंगल दिखाया जाता था. I'm not gonna say it's false or like true or anything, but like it was just one angle, and I felt like I had to step in and show that Pakistan used to do love, laugh, cry, are regular people. So that's where I started posting over here on my page. I used to write captions also. From that, like a few publications approached me. They're like, "Hey, we'd like you to write for us." And then that was just like one thing then just led to another, like kind of like that. And as far as like the whole medicine aspect was that, like आपको पता होगा, like there's three things that people approach in Pakistan. ठीक है, you either go for steps, you go for plab, or you stay over here and आप FCPS कर लेते हो. साफ सी बात है, ठीक है. So my route was steps. ख्वाब पूरा था अमेरिका जाना and all that stuff. पूरे इम्तिहान दिए, got great scores and everything. Did very well. मेरा वीजा फंस गया. So like and I could not do anything about it. साफ सी बात है. Like you're just paralyzed then. साफ सी बात है. And you don't know what to do. And it was during that time that a lot of these publications
I'm
started.
sorry I'm cutting you, but
Yeah.
just to highlight this fact, people don't realize कि how much an effort goes into your assemblies and steps. जितना
Yes.
आप time लगाते हो, energy लगाते हो, and at the end of the day, और इतना money, effort and time लगा के ना हो due to a visa rejection, it just puts you off for life. It's like it's like you're
And exactly, like the thing is, like it's like around 1.5 to 2 years of your life, which you put into it, you get those scores, and when you get those dream scores and everything, you're like, yeah, I did everything right. अब क्या करना है, ठीक है? And the thing with my visa was, it wasn't like a rejection or anything. It was just they have this thing called like admin processing and shit. So it's हाँ भी नहीं, ना भी नहीं, and आप बस फंसे में. अब you're just waiting. साफ सी बात है. And actually I got my visa after 18 months, like 18 months, like a year and a half. ठीक है. लग गया, अच्छी बात है and everything, but 18 months is a lot of time to just not do anything. And then a lot of people do, like वो मुझसे जो कहते हैं, like, and I don't know if you're going to relate to this or not, but a lot of people are like कि अरे यार बिलाल कुछ और कर लो ना, like just यहीं काम करना शुरू. I was like, it's not that easy. If you've put your heart into something, 2 साल आपने डाले, पूरी मेहनत करी, you got your scores, you got everything जो आपको करना था. I can't just give up on that dream, and I still haven't give up on that dream. It's not that easy. So the thing was, during that I was already in research in polio eradication के अंदर मैं काम कर रहा था, वो चल रहा था साथ-साथ. And then साथ-साथ I started doing this photojournalism thing, and it just started getting bigger and bigger. I started getting more ideas. I wanted to post more things. I wanted to write about more things. And yeah, like along then after that, what happened was like a lot of people started messaging me. They're like, "Hey, we really like the kind of places you explore. Would you be up for giving us a tour?" Then I kind of also became a tour guide along with that. So the thing was like now like it like took me like 5 minutes to introduce myself. So like I have like a full my parents say it's identity crisis. I was like, yeah, हाँ काफी है. So like yeah, Mr. Paki is a doctor, photojournalist, writer, tour guide, everything and anything.
That is absolutely beautiful because जिस तरह से आपने पहले बात शुरू की, people have this conception in their mind कि doctor is only gonna be a doctor. They can't comprehend कि if you're passionate about something, if you can actually just like you said, compact अपने आप prioritization इस तरह से कर लें, and you divide your time between things, you have a lot of time and you can do stuff if you're passionate about it. So
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Like, I'll tell you the thing, Asad, like, the most frustrating question of my life, and I get this so much, like, even I did a Q&A a few days back, and this was like, and it's only the doctors who are obsessed with this question. They're like, are you still doing medicine? Are you still doing medicine? I was like, leave me alone, man. Like, literally, why is that your problem? It's the fact that comprehend नहीं होता लोगों से that you can do other things. And it's possible if you're passionate about it, you can. Maybe I'm not doing the conventional hospital wala thing, and like I explained, why right now I'm not doing that because I still have a dream which I haven't given up on. And so yeah, it is like that. And yeah, it's not like because I feel like even in the doctor world, a lot of people have this thing that कि अगर करना है तो सिर्फ और सिर्फ मुझे मेडिसिन ही करनी है क्रेडल टू द ग्रेव दैट्स इट मेरी कोई और हॉबी साइड पे हॉबी बस उनकी होगी मैं जिम जाता हूँ इससे ज्यादा कोई हॉबी नहीं होगी लाइक और आई रीड बट डू यू डू एनीथिंग एल्स लाइक do you like make more money from something else? It's very hard for people to comprehend this.
So true. I mean, having a side hustle, being in a career as a medicine, it for some people it's like out of the world thing. वो सोच ही नहीं सकते कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है. But it
No, no, no,
actually is.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um,
Like it's just yeah. Yes, sir.
so
Continue.
tell me about this. What do you think about health and wellness in today's society, especially in Pakistan and the Desi culture that we have?
Okay, like frankly speaking, desi culture में like health and wellness is pretty pathetic. Like आपको भी पता होगा, आपने history ली होगी, लोगों की diabetes, hypertension, every second, third person comes with it. ठीक है, you probably know that very well. ठीक है, कई दफा तो होता है like पूछने से पहले भी when you look at the patient और आपको अंदाजा हो जाता है that okay, these are the questions I'm going to ask this person. ये इसका होगा, ठीक है. Actually, you're shocked if अगर नहीं होता है. And जब नहीं होता है, then you're like, okay, I think I should test you for it. You might just have it, ठीक है. And then telling them कि आप परहेज वरहेज करें, that is another thing, minefield in itself. I feel like बहुत कम awareness है on health and wellness, and the concept of how to approach it वो भी बहुत skewed है. Like कई लोग कहेंगे जैसे आपको अभी पता होगा जैसे like with the whole corona and everything ये सना मक्की के पत्ते पीना I mean किसने बोला आपको सना मक्की के पत्ते पीने को ठीक है हाइपोटेंशन हो जाती है आपसे उससे ठीक है और फिर उसके बाद आपको डायरिया हो जाता है आपको डायरिया होता है डायरिया की वजह से लोग फिर एजिथ्रोमाइसिन there you're giving it to treat the diarrhea you're not treating that whole thing. So yeah, like it is like it's pretty bad like frankly speaking. But like I would still say that urban Pakistan, at least in the cities, it thoda better hai, but we still have a long way to go. Frankly speaking, like concept ही नहीं है, like the concept ही नहीं है. Even हमारे जो खाने हैं, like I mean I love Pakistani food, all of them. But I mean जो कराची के तीन सबसे जो top three बिरयानी निहारी हलीम, I mean. And nobody's beating around the bush over it. None of them are healthy, and you can't have stuff like this on a daily basis and expect to live a healthy life.
That is so true, and that is absolutely beautiful how you just explained everything, and I can totally relate with it because लोगों का यहाँ पे ना it's very skewed. First of all, तो health and fitness को देखते हैं it's something very expensive. एकदम से बहुत पैसा लगता है हम कर ही नहीं सकते. But what they don't realize is that being healthy and eating healthy is a way of life. It's a lifestyle, and you can do it every single day. Just like you said, कि वो जो
Very
तीन मशहूर खाने आप everybody knows they're harmful. But then again, I feel like they don't have the courage to take the initiative and go the long way. Make that decision, be disciplined enough to be
no,
consistent with it.
absolutely. Like I mean, अगेन लाइक कई दफा होता है, अगर आप, मैं पेशेंट को काउंसिल करता हूँ एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड आई टेल देम यार आपको लाइफस्टाइल चॉइस कर, आपको लाइफस्टाइल मॉडिफिकेशन, द वर्ड, आई फील लाइक जब मैं उनको बोलता हूँ लाइफस्टाइल मॉडिफिकेशन, दे फील लाइक कि पता नहीं मैंने क्या बोल दिया उनको, कि लाइक आपको क्या हो गया, कैंसर, कोरोना, सब है। नो, लाइफस्टाइल मॉडिफिकेशन मीन्स आप जाएं, घर से बाहर निकलें, 10 मिनट वॉक कर लें, थोड़ा गेट योर हार्ट रेट बिट अप, ठीक है, बिरयानी नहारी हलीम नहीं खाएं, ठीक है, just like try eating grilled meat for once, try having a meat free day kabhi kabhi, ठीक है, दाल खाएं, ठीक है, it's not hard, it really isn't hard, but people like, oh, it is frustrating कि and I feel like पाकिस्तानी कौम के अंदर स्पेसिफिकली एक प्रॉब्लम है, जहां एक आसान चीज होगी ना उसको बहुत मुश्किल बना देंगे, they'll be like, oh my god, being healthy is like the most difficult thing, ये सिर्फ अमीरों का खेल है, नहीं अमीरों का नहीं है, it's very like, it's very doable, साफ सी बात है, but you need willpower for it.
एग्जैक्टली यही बात है कि लोगों का जो वो दिमाग में बने हुए ना मिथ्स, वो बहुत पुराने इनग्रेन्ड हुए में। और मैं बल्कि उस दिन भी बात कर रहे थे गेस्ट के साथ कि हमारे तो खानदान में, हमारे तो देसी कल्चर में ऐसे है कि अगर आपका पेट निकला हो रहा है तो दैट्स कंसिडर हेल्दी, खाते पीते खड़ाने के आप जो है ना वो घर वर रखवा लें। लेकिन अगर आपका पेट नहीं है एंड यू हैव लाइक यू गो टू जिम एंड यू डू ऑल दीस थिंग्स, तो you're not healthy.
देखो देखो, एक बात डिसाइड कर लो, जो पाकिस्तानी जो पब्लिक है वो आपसे कभी खुश नहीं होगी, ठीक है, आप वजन कम कर लो, अरे यार तुम इतने कमजोर हो गए, खाना खा रहे हो, तुम मोटे हो गए, अरे तुम मोटे कैसे हो गए, अरे मोटे खाने से ही होते हैं ना, खाना ही खाया होगा ना, वो कैसे मोटे हुए होंगे, स्टूपिड क्वेश्चन क्यों पूछते हो, ठीक है। सो जस्ट रिमेंबर वन थिंग, दे विल नेवर बी हैप्पी, you need to decide what you need to do, what is best for yourself, period, finish.
Exactly. Yeah, and you just summarize it beautifully. मेरे हाल में इससे बेहतर हो नहीं सकता, because that's just it. All right. Since you have a lot of, you have a side hustle as a journalist, as a photojournalist, and you've been doing a lot of ambitious work, a lot of inspiring work. Tell us about this. Give us 3 learnings that you have developed from being a journalist in Pakistan.
Okay, like, okay, so one thing which is like very, very important is that Pakistan may remember one thing, that it's no doesn't exactly mean no. Now let me explain this, ठीक है? आप कई जगह जाएंगे where you want to cover something, ठीक है? And remember, यहाँ पाकिस्तान में हर जगह gatekeepers होते हैं, ठीक है? And like what I do is I do citizen journalism, which is like I report on things, day-to-day things in the city and everything. So कई लोगों के दरवाजे पे कहेंगे नहीं आप तस्वीर नहीं ले सकते, क्यों नहीं ले सकते, इट्स अ पब्लिक स्पेस, मस्जिद है, ठीक है, व्हाई कैन आई टेक अ पिक्चर, नहीं आप नहीं ले सकते, ठीक है, एंड बस उसका मूड है उस दिन, आपको नहीं लेने दे रहा, दैट्स इट, फिनिश, ठीक है। अच्छा, सो द थिंग इज, उस वक्त उसने नो बोल दिया, बट दैट नो डजंट मीन दैट यू कैन नॉट कम ऑन अनदर डे, बिकॉज ओनली ही सेड नो टू यू, दिस वन पर्सन, अगले दिन कोई और गार्ड हो सकता है, ठीक है, एंड एक्चुअली दैट्स हाउ इट वर्क्स आउट। सो वन थिंग इज नेवर गिव अप, ठीक है, जस्ट बिकॉज यू गॉट अ नो, ठीक है, दैट इज वन थिंग विच इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। नंबर टू, अपनी इज्जत, लाइक अपने घर पे आप छोड़कर आ जाएं, बिकॉज बहुत आपकी बेइज्जती होगी, बहुत बेगैरत होना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज साफ सी बात है, लाइक पीपल आर स्टिल, बिकॉज अगेन पाकिस्तान हैज हिस्ट्री, ठीक है, वी हैव हिस्ट्री विद ये द वॉर ऑन टेररिज्म है, देन वी हैव द जिया एरा, सो पाकिस्तान हैज हिस्ट्री, सो पीपल आर ओवरऑल वेरी सस्पिशियस ऑफ anyone who is asking questions or has a camera with them. So be prepared for people to ask you some ajeeb or ghareeb questions, and be, and गुस्सा मत करना, ठीक है, so which is like the point number 3, which is never ever lose your cool, always be calm, cool, collected, and just saying everything politely, trying to explain it without getting frustrated, goes a long way in Pakistan. Long way, ठीक है? Like, I'll give you an example. Like, if I'm taking out my camera, like, and I'm just like taking pictures, like in like the thick of Karachi's like hustle, and always there will always without fail one angry uncle will approach. आप क्या कर रहे हैं? ये किस लिए है? ठीक है? And he will say it in this very antagonistic tone, जहाँ वो he wants a fight, ठीक है? You have to be, I'm always calm. I was like, I just open up my phone, मैं कहता हूँ अंकल मेरा एक कराची का पेज है, मैं कराची के बारे में लिखता हूँ, और मैं like दिन भर दिन की जो स्टोरीज होती है मैं ऐसे पोस्ट करता हूँ, मैं कई दफा मैंने कई और पेपर्स पब्लिकेशंस में लिखा हुआ है, और मैं इस तरह करता हूँ, and everything. I show them everything and I try, and मैं कहता हूँ, and then he's like, they usually do calm down, ठीक है? Then I was like, मैं आपकी तस्वीर ले सकता हूँ, either, and usually they calm down and करने देते हैं. But I've seen another aspect of, I've seen few photographers who foreign लड़ पड़ते हैं, and that will just create a scene. You will not get your material, and everyone around you will lose trust in you. So like आपका वो इलाका पूरा gone हो जाता है. You just can't cover it. So these are 3 things which I'd give advice to people.
Beautiful. And relating to point three, this is even true in medicine, even in
Of
hospitals
course,
or हमारी
of
if a
course.
doctor आगे antagonistic और एकदम से वो बोलेगा तो obviously situation खराब होगी. Like people management and impression management and how to do that, how to do public speaking, how to calm down all those patients in their appointed जो लोग आए होते हैं. This is very important. It's an art.
100%, लाइक आपको भी पता होगा, लाइक हर अस्पताल में एक कंसल्टेंट होता है जो ऊपर के, हु थिंक्स ही इज द शिट, ठीक है, बट दे हैव पैथेटिक बेडसाइड मैनर, एंड आई विल से पैथेटिक. एंड
Exactly.
वो पेशेंट को हाथ भी नहीं लगाएगा, वो उससे तमीज से भी बात नहीं करेगा, ठीक है. And eventually, what happens is the patient actually weirdly has more trust in the house officer than the consultant managing them, because the house officer उससे
So
तमीज से बात करता है. So again, this goes for everything, and I agree. Like, just तमीज से बात करो, be patient, don't lose your cool. Never lose your cool. In fact, that goes for social media also. Never lose your cool. Like people, like I mean, आपका जितना बड़ा पेज होता रहेगा, लोग आपको करेंगे, उंगली करेंगे, उनको मसले होंगे, they will say something. Someone or the other will have issues with you. Never lose your cool. That is the I think I put that number one.
exactly, because once you lose your cool, ना, then everything changes. आपका पूरा the whole thing vanishes because the enormous body of work आपने जो किया. But if you cannot even if you cannot even keep your cool, that means like you're inflammable.
Of course, that means you are not a stable person. And अगर आप इतनी छोटी छोटी चीजों पे आप अपना cool lose करोगे and everything, you're not going to go far in Pakistan, because पाकिस्तान में, like आपको भी पता होगा ये कि मक्खन नहीं लगाना, like बेगैरत मत हो जाना, मगर just be polite, it will go a long way, like doors will open up for you, won't even realize कहाँ. I'll give you an example. जैसे यहाँ कराची में एक बहुत पुरानी मस्जिद है, उसका नाम है कच्ची मेमन मस्जिद. It's a beautiful mosque. It's one of the oldest mosques in Karachi, ठीक है. Usually they would never let us inside to take photographs, ठीक है. Recently, like early in January, like there was like I went over there, I wanted to take a few pictures. तो वहाँ बंदा बैठा हुआ था, like I think guard type बंदा था. He was managing the shoes वाले इलाके, जूता जहाँ रखे हुए थे, ठीक है. तो मैं ऐसे ही उससे बात करने लगा, मैंने कहा कितनी पुरानी मस्जिद है ये और वो. And he realized I was interested in everything, and मैंने कहा मैं ऊपर जा सकता हूँ, थोड़ी तस्वीरें ले सकता हूँ. And then when he realized that I was genuinely interested, and we'd actually built a little bit of rapport. ये तो मतलब such a doctor-patient relationship. वो जिंदगी में भी हर
Exactly.
जगह आपको relationship बनाना है. Spend at least 5-10 minutes. फिर वो खुद ही मुझे छत पे ले गया, उसने कहा ये देखें यहाँ से अच्छा व्यू आता है, यहाँ ये होता है, ये होता है. It goes a long way. Just don't go show up in someone's face और आप कैमरा खोल के बैठ जाओ without even asking them. Of course, मुझे भी तब चढ़ेगी, अभी like कौन हो भाई.
Exactly, and this is the problem with a lot of people, not even in journalism, especially in medicine. Like we like to blame all the patients and all those the halat of Pakistan, but we don't like to be accountable for ourselves. कि हम अपना हमारा attitude कैसा होता है patients के साथ.
Absolutely, आपसे जैसे अगर आपके कभी कोई रेयर केस आ गया अस्पताल में, एलिफेंटियासिस से समझो आपका आ गया, ठीक है, तो लाइक सारे पहुंच जाएंगे उसको देखने के लिए, तस्वीरें ले रहे होंगे. अरे भाई उससे बात तो करो यार, बात तो करो.
He's a
Just
human being.
he's a human being. Talk to that person for 5 minutes. Say hello, hi, what happened to you? How did this happen to you? Then you're like, अच्छा मैं अपने लिए ताकि अपनी एजुकेशन के लिए, अपने पढ़ने के लिए, अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए मैं तस्वीर ले सकता हूँ. Please, thank you. Then take your picture. Just and medical students do this all the time because उनको excitement जाती है, नया केस आ गया, कोई rare चीज आ गई, फौरन पहुंच जाओ यार. You don't do this, man. It's wrong. It's just wrong.
Exactly. All right. So my next question is the most exciting question of this show, and that is, if you have the time, energy, and money to do anything in this world to keep you healthy, what would you do?
Good question.
Let's
ठीक है.
start with it.
I mean, I think I try to do everything that I can. Like I try to compartmentalize myself. So like I don't think I would change anything per se. But yeah, if I had like the time and everything, then जाहिर सी बात है, और मनी होता तो अच्छा एक सेलिब्रिटी फिटनेस ट्रेनर हायर करता, कहता आओ चलो पूरे मेरे सिक्स पैक अभी बनाओ, ठीक है, अभी चाहिए सारा, दैट्स इट. Rather than doing it on yourself, ठीक है. But Varna, I'm pretty content. Alhamdulillah, I'm pretty content with the way I do my things. Like with the pandemic, my brother and I, like you go through phases in the pandemic. So in the pandemic, the first phase was the banana bread phase. You eat Lay's chips. आपने गंदा गंदा कचरा वचरा खाया. Then the second phase was where you feel like shit, ठीक है, and you're like ये मैंने क्या करा अपने साथ, ठीक है. And the third phase, which right now, which my brother and I are going through, is where we're like, okay, I think exercise कर लेनी चाहिए. So like we invested in a little bit of like a little mini gym in our house. हमने cycling शुरू करी है थोड़ी. So yeah, we're trying. Like
And what's the next phase? इसके बाद वाली?
इसके बाद वाली उम्मीद है कि सिक्स पैक हो जाएगा.
That's great. Great.
छह
All
महीने
right.
6 महीने later.
All right. So my next question is about mental health. I feel like it's not given the due attention it needs, and even if it is talked about in the media, it's how people only focus on the problem. Nobody's focusing on the solution. What do you think about mental health in Pakistan?
uh, people don't even take it seriously. आपको बहुत ये पता होगा कि if anyone comes with bipolar, schizophrenia, or even like a panic attack, these are all genuine medical conditions that have different medications. You treat schizophrenia differently, you treat a panic attack differently, you treat bipolar differently. आपको सब पता होगा ये, ठीक है? पाकिस्तान के अंदर all of this comes under the umbrella of पागल. बस that's it. That's the label जो सब पे पड़ जाता है पाकिस्तान के अंदर. I'll give you an example. Like there was a phase in my life which like I was feeling really low and everything, and like मैं अपनी अम्मी को जैसे ऐसे I was just talking to her and I was like, yeah माँ मुझे थोड़ा depression हो रहा है, like I'm just feeling really low and everything. मेरी अम्मी ने कहा नमाज पढ़ लो चले जाएगा. And you know people don't understand, like they don't understand that कई दफा this stuff will not treat it, like, and it's not like a religious thing, it's not like none of that stuff, but they're like namaz पढ़ लो, मैंने अभी कोई आया है जमजम लेकर आया है जमजम पी लो, or like stuff like that, but they don't realize that it is that mental health is something which is real. It's very real and it requires treatment, and it needs to be taken care of also. साफ सी बात है. And with in my case, like obviously like एक बात याद रखना, like because of even in the day of social media, ठीक है, remember that the bigger your page and the bigger your voice gets, so you'll be interacting with a lot of people, ठीक है, and you'll be hearing comments from all over, ठीक है, and yeah, sometimes it does get to you, like although काफी positive होता है, मगर that one negative will get to you. And कई दफा होंगे some people will be वो आपके friends होंगे या supporters होंगे, but you'll hear things वो पीछे आपके कुछ और बोल रहे होंगे and everything. So these things do
Snakes.
yeah, the snakes. So these things do affect you and everything. So you need to take care of your mental health that way, where like toxic baggage hota hai, you need to learn to let go, and you need, so like yeah, it's important, it needs to be taken care of, but in Pakistan it's not given the due importance that it should be given.
That is so true, and I feel like it's gonna take a lot of time, but it's
A lot
also
of
our
time.
responsibility, collective responsibility to talk about it, raise our voice about
Of
it.
course, of course, of
Um,
course.
all right. So tell me about this. Now, this is a question which puts people into existential crisis, and that
Yeah.
is, Bilal, what has been your biggest failure in life, and what did you learn out of it?
Oh God, okay. So like this is like a carry on from what the previous question. Alhamdulillah, I haven't had like any big failure or anything per se in my life. But the thing was like I'll now tell you the thing kya hua tha. I was made to feel like a failure. Now let me elaborate on this, ठीक है? So basically like the whole medicine thing जब शुरू में था, exam दिया, score अच्छा है and everything. Obviously अम्मा अब्बा सबको बता देते हैं because they want to tell कि मेरे डॉक्टर बेटे कितने अच्छे स्कोर आए and everything, because they need to tell that stuff, चाहे जितना उनको बोले मत बताएं, they will tell, ठीक है. So that stuff happened and everything, but obviously because मेरा वीजा फंस गया and I started doing a lot of other things, but साथ में research continue कर रहा था. And while I was doing other things, like मैं अपना journalism कर रहा था and everything, और जो चीजें लिख रहा था, I was doing very well. Still am, alhamdulillah. Like I'm like my publications were like everywhere. I was on the front page of newspapers, like quoted. Like मैंने कहा मैं कौन हूँ मुझे क्यों quote कर रहे हैं? But yeah, I was quoted and everything. But then people started talking, and these were like relatives. साफ सी बात है, अपने relatives होते हैं, सबसे ज्यादा करीब में अपने relatives होते हैं, आपके दोस्त होते हैं, and then they're talking that like, what is he doing? Like, oh, इससे शायद medicine हुई, oh, probably he messed up, and like stuff like that. And that is where like it really, आवाज आ रही है? Hello, hello.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. So that is where that was eye-opening. Actually, that was like the very eye-opening part where I learned कि एक बात है कि ये जो लोग बोलेंगे आपके बारे में सब कुछ, it's their insecurities. ये आपका मसला नहीं है, ये मेरा मसला नहीं है, साफ सी बात है. And at first, initially, obviously, it affected my mental health a lot. I was like, I'm doing great and getting like, I'm getting published over here, and like, ये लोग इनको मुझसे बात करनी है, and I was like, I think I'm doing fine. I should be doing fine. I think, but there's so many people who used to talk, and they'd be like, यार वो ये क्या कर रहा है, वो ये क्या कर रहा है, वो ये क्या कर रहा है, and that point just taught me कि यार ये मेरे मसले नहीं है, ये इनके मसले, and they're probably talking about it because they have issues in their lives, you know. And then it just taught me कि एक तो आपकी अगर जिंदगी में कुछ अच्छा हो रहा हो, don't tell a lot of people, frankly speaking. I mean, other than your siblings, your parents, बाकी आपका कोई और अच्छा नहीं चाहता. The other thing जो है is to grow a thick skin. That is what irrespective, even if you're going to be doing good, there will be people who will have issues with it. ठीक है, and किसी ना किसी को issues होगा ना. हर बंदे के हाथ में तो एक like वो internet आ गया है and ये phone है, so like you just need to remember that not everyone's going to praise your work. आप चाहे अच्छे से अच्छी चीज करोगे, लोगों को issue होगा. So what this taught me was just to grow a thick skin, and that other people's insecurities are not my insecurities. I will continue to suffocate you with my awesomeness. You can learn to deal with it.
Exactly. And there's like two things. One thing is, again, I would like to highlight the importance. If a medical student after graduation is going through steps, USMLE journey, it's too tough because it's 1 or 2 years of your life every single day. There's
Yes.
anxiety, there's depression, there's things that you have to complete, there's a lot of tension and everything. Or there's a lot of money invested, a lot of money, like staggering amounts of money. And then on top of that, it's the extreme obnoxious amounts of time and effort that you spend. और आप कहीं किसी पार्टी में नहीं जा रहे होते, आप दोस्तों के साथ नहीं जा रहे होते, आप शादियों में नहीं जा रहे होते. You're just like alone because you have to do it because it's not easy. Like getting into the US is not easy as a doctor.
No, not at all.
So इस सब के बाद, if you go through something like what you just, वो visa वाला problem, and then people start talking, it's very highly likely that it's gonna get to you, right?
Of course it gets you, and साफ सी बात है, you don't, and you know how the process is, ठीक है. With USMLE visas, people don't talk about this stuff. Like, I'm not going to be sharing this publicly. Like, while it's happening, nobody shares it. कोई भी नहीं बताता उसका visa interview होता है, कोई भी नहीं बताता. Nobody tells you because everyone is so like, like you wanted to work out. You really wanted to work out so bad. So that you don't. And you're like, अगर मैं किसी एक को भी बता दूंगा, it might not. Like, I know it is this thing. It's a kind of superstition thing. So you don't talk about it, and I wouldn't talk about it. साफ सी बात है, and I would just do my thing, and I was doing great and everything, like, but then like the and you'd hear about it, and it used to get to me when I'd find out, like, like people specifically from the med circle talk a lot, and there's a lot of judgment, and the judgment comes in the form of silence. It comes in like pauses and everything. You notice it, and yeah, it did initially get to me a lot at that time specifically. That I was like, पता नहीं मैं गलत क्या कर रहा हूँ, but I mean, now with time, alhamdulillah, like God's been great and everything. Like, I've gotten so many opportunities, I've gotten the chance to do so many things. That like now at this phase, like about like 2-3 years into it, now it doesn't get to me. Like, I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever. It's your problem, not mine.
Exactly, and just like you said, grow a thick skin. But obviously, and you build a thick skin, आपको पहले से तो होती नहीं है. Like, you have to go through a lot of stuff to build it, right? Or that is your defining moments in life, right? और दूसरी चीज ये कि you're so right because लोगों की अपनी insecurities होती हैं और वो आप पे अपना वो सारा डाल रहे होते हैं. They want this dark cloud in front of you.
Yeah.
और उनकी अपनी insecurities होती हैं, and you have to internalize this fact.
You have to remember it, and कई दफा आप realize करते आप कहते हो, ये इसलिए बोल रहा है because maybe इसका USMLE score अच्छा नहीं है. That's why they're probably talking about it, or probably this one thinks they write better than me. But तुम भी लिखो ना, किसने तुम्हें मना किया है? But because of that, they're going to be critical of your work, ठीक है? Or this one thinks that they can take better pictures than you. So then आपको किसने मना किया? आप भी जाओ तस्वीर लो. My thing is, मेहनत करो, हसद नहीं करो, ठीक है? And that is the problem in Pakistan. जो होता है, जो काम अगर कोई कर रहा होता है, they're going to hate on them a lot. And but it's sad. It's a sad aspect of Pakistani society where you need to remember that अगर आप कोई भी काम कर रहे हो, you're going to be alone. You know that, and I know this very well, and I'm very clear on this fact that अगर मैं कुछ कर रहा हूँ जाके or something, I know बहुत दफा that अकेला ही होऊंगा most probably, because even if I will tell someone about like चलो ये मैं project करना चाह रहा हूँ and everything, किसी ना किसी को कोई ना कोई मसला कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है and everything, and you're like
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a dilemma, but I'm so happy. I'm so glad that we talked about this because it needs to be talked about.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Um,
It is an aspect
all
of our
right,
society. Yeah. Yeah.
all right. So my next question is, being a photojournalist, being in such a great experience and such a great portfolio that you've built, where do you see the future of Pakistan in 5 years and why?
Okay, look, I'm always an optimist, saaf si baat hai, and I tend to look at the glass always half full than half empty. Look, okay, and now I will break it down into things. ठीक है? Obviously, like our economy isn't that great right now. Political situation is pretty much in shambles right now. ठीक है? But the thing what gives me optimism, and this is what I compare to like 10 years back. ठीक है? 10 years back, we didn't have the technology that we have right now. 10 years back, even the youth जो हम और हमसे जो younger लोग थे weren't as empowered and as active in Pakistani life as they are now. Like I know like of kids who are much younger than us, ठीक है, who are very involved in day-to-day life. Even if they're making memes calling out the government, that is also involvement. You are calling them out just by making a meme, ठीक है? These things didn't exist 10 years back. And one thing I believe in Pakistan कि पाकिस्तान थोड़ा एक बेगैरतों वाला मुल्क है where अगर आपको थोड़ा लोगों को बेगैरत करना पड़ता है, आपको थोड़ी बेइज्जती करनी पड़ती है, तब काम होता है, मगर हो जाता है. Remember, हमेशा हो जाता है, ठीक है? So like the thing is in 5 years time, like I am optimistic because I believe in the youth. I believe a lot in the youth. And I believe in them because of the power that they have. And a lot of them are not as scared to talk out on issues. A lot of them, like and I'll give you an example of lot. There are a lot of taboo issues that in Pakistan आप कभी लोग टच भी नहीं करते थे, but they are talking about it. Like minority rights people do talk about it now. ठीक है, sexual harassment लोग बात करते हैं. ठीक है, pedophilia people do talk about it now. I'm not even afraid to say it. ठीक है, and like verbalize it. ठीक है. Yes, there are a few things which I wouldn't touch, but inshallah, I hope I do get the confidence to touch these things. 10 साल पहले ये लोग would never touch these things, ठीक है? So yeah, I am optimistic, like I'd say cautiously optimistic.
That is great. That is just very insightful as well because you're just so right about the technology and how people have started to talk about stuff. जो पहले हम सोच भी नहीं सकते थे. That's just true. Um, Bilal, since you're a doctor as well, I want to ask this: how do you keep yourself healthy, and how can our listeners listening to you right now keep themselves healthy as well?
I mean, honestly speaking, it's very, you have to start off with little changes, ठीक है? Very little changes, and don't make it too intimidating for yourself. Like, कभी इस तरह मत करना कि आप आज मैं उठ के सिर्फ गाजर खाऊंगा. That's it. No, don't make it difficult for yourself. Make it very easy. And honestly, like, take this from as yo-yoed like here and there, like all my life and everything. Because obviously, when you're studying for USMLEs, also you're just at weight because you don't have time to do anything. The thing is, just make little changes like breakfast. You're like, acha, just I'm gonna start one. Okay. You could have like a boiled egg. You can have like switch from white bread to brown bread. One thing, ठीक है? Lunch dinner अपना continue करें जैसे. And you're like, today अगर मैं walk करूँगा, I'll start off with 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. Start off with 10 minutes. Just get your heart rate up. Slowly, like the next day, you're like, अच्छा चलो मैं breakfast के साथ साथ मैं lunch एक healthy करूँगा. I'll start off by walking 10 नहीं मैं आज 11 minute करूँगा. And you have to take baby steps. I think Pakistan में होता है we're all very impatient. We want to lose weight tomorrow. मैंने आज शुरू किया, मुझे कल खत्म करना है, ठीक है? And like we will go full aggressive, like cucumber, kela, and all that stuff. No, be patient. It will happen, but just take baby steps.
Great. Thank you so much for this. Just having an expert on board on the health show is very important for me. And especially you being a doctor, can you give us like 3 insights in diet and exercise that people can incorporate into their daily routine? No matter if they're obese or they're skinny, whatever it is.
Like 3 things, like very simple. Like one, try walking like a little bit. Like try like start off with 10 minutes. ठीक है? That's very good. ठीक है? Especially another thing is like you can just do a few basic exercises at home, like crunches, push-ups, go a long way. ठीक है? You don't have to do it every day. You can do it alternate. ठीक है. And third thing that you can do is probably you can like invest in a jump rope. अगर jump rope नहीं करनी है, अगर वो नहीं करनी, you can just run. अगर सीढ़ियाँ हैं आपके apartment के अंदर या घर के अंदर, you can run up and down. ठीक है. Again, time yourself. Like okay, मैं 2 minute के लिए करूँगा, or probably 1 minute even. Just start off. Just get your heart rate up. And honestly, these things go a long way. Another thing which is that like if you feel like it's going to motivate you, so like get something that will motivate you. You're like invest in a nice pair of shoes. You're like agar aapke paas like naya jogging shoes, you're like I will probably feel like going for it, or get a gym gear. You don't have to go like to Nike or anything. Har jagah mil jata hai. Just try it. You're like maybe that will motivate you to try doing something, or get a gadget or something. Anything that will motivate you, you know, like and it goes a long way. It honestly goes a long way. कि यार नहीं, I'm gonna ये करूँगा, उस तरह करूँगा. So like yesterday, like my brother and we went cycling, and I'd gone cycling after like good like 10-15 years. ठीक है. And I didn't know how it'd be. And like he found this place जहाँ से you can rent bikes and everything. So but like जब चलाना शुरू किया तो बड़ा मजा आया and everything, and I think we like did like around 6-7 kilometers, and it felt great because it felt like a change. It felt like a change from the walking. So yeah, always remember to mix and match. Also try not to do like the same thing. Like अगर आप walk कर रहे हो एक दिन jog कर लो, अगर एक दिन cycle चला लो, एक दिन jump rope. Again, long story short, the opportunities and the menu is huge. Just play around with it. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bilal. My final question to you is, what's that one thing you want to leave the audience with today?
Sorry?
So what's that one thing you want to leave the audience with?
One thing. Okay, so like the one thing that I'd like to leave the audience with is that like if you're passionate about something and you feel strongly about something, you're like, and you believe, and honestly speaking, it's not about what people say or people don't say. If you believe about it and in your head you know, yeah, I know I'm good at this and I know I can do this, go for it. Honestly, don't think about log kya kahenge, aapke rishtedar kya kahenge, aapke dost kya kahenge. If honestly, the only thing that matters is your belief. If you believe in it and you know that you're going to be good and you can do it, just do it. And yeah, and don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. And once you get started, then don't stop.
Great. Thank you so much, Bilal. It has been an absolutely very raw and very real conversation that we just had. We touched upon very specific things about Pakistan and how to, run in Pakistan and how to keep yourself motivated, how to keep yourself healthy. We talked about mental health. We talked about a lot of amazing stuff. Thank you so much for giving your time. It has been an absolute session. It has been an absolutely great conversation that I've had. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Asad. It's been an absolute pleasure. I had a blast. Thank you.
Thank you, and Allah Hafiz.
Dafis. Take care.